Hey everybody, welcome back. This is going to be part 2 of my Denver Comic Con haul and review video. We've already gone through some of my celebrity signings and comic books that I bought and that my fiance and my son bought me for Father's Day. Now we've got some signed books. Most of these books I actually took with me to Comic Con to get signed by certain artists. A few of them I picked up there. Like this first one, Brian Pt.2 was at Denver Comic Con. Very laid back, very mellow guy. Of course, he is the creator of Lady Death, and I love the Lady Death artwork. I think that he just does a beautiful job. It's not just a shapely woman. I mean, just the face, the way he does her face, the way he does her hair. Big fan. He had several different covers available to get signed. This is the Scarlet edition of Lady Death, limited to 69 copies. This is copy number 55 of 69. 5 has always been my lucky number, so I found 55 and went with it. And he signed it right up here. Take a look there. There you go. And happy to have it in the collection. Next, John Romita Jr. I'm going to put that out there. John Romita Jr. was at Denver Comic Con this year. Real nice guy. John Romita Jr. I think he was charging, the first 4 books you brought him to sign were free, and after the 4th one he was charging, and I honestly don't know how much he was charging because I only had him sign 3 books. Starting with Superman number 32. I believe this is when he jumped on the title from the new 52 Superman, and he signed it right here, JR, with 2016 on there. So nice, simple way to do his signature. Of course, recently was John Romita Jr. month for DC Comics, and he had a lot of copies, a lot of titles come out. I grabbed Harley Quinn. I didn't think I was a big Harley Quinn fan, and then I looked around my collections, my comics, my pops, my statues, and I realized I'm a bigger Harley Quinn fan than I thought. So I had John Romita Jr. sign the Harley Quinn variant from John Romita Jr. month. Next, J. Scott Campbell was at Comic-Con, Denver Comic-Con, and a big fan of his artwork. Love the way he draws things. Just I can never find anything wrong with his artwork. I mean, the women, the guys, it all has a style that says J. Scott Campbell. I mean, there's just no other way around it. So I had Star Wars #1, the variant edition that J. Scott Campbell did. Had him sign that. And J. Scott Campbell, he was charging, his first autograph was free. After that, it was $10 per book. So there you go. But I had him do that Star Wars, and then we're back to Harley. Harley Quinn's Little Black Book. Couldn't get it here, the variant cover anyway, for issue #1. Of course, this was the month that all kinds of DC titles were coming polybagged in Little Black Book editions. This is for the Little Black Book itself, and different artists did different variants for different comics. And J. Scott Campbell did the actual variant for Little Black Book #1. And in the bagged editions, if you're not familiar, you get a sketched variant, or an inked variant, or a full color variant. And I just love this cover, so I got the sketched variant signed, and I got the inked variant signed. And of course I've got the full cover variant signed by J. Scott Campbell. I'm thrilled to have the whole set. Real happy that he was there. Just a fantastic happenstance that he came to Denver. He wasn't quite as talkative as Brian or well, John Romita Jr. was a little more friendly and talkative, but then again, J. Scott Campbell had a huge line. Before he even got to his table, there was a huge line of people waiting to get books signed, so I get that he didn't have a whole lot of time to talk to people. Anyway, moving on. Chad Hardin was at Denver Comic Con. I was stoked. Again, Harley Quinn fan more than I want to admit. I have the full run of her latest series. This, of course, is Harley Quinn #1, signed by Chad Hardin, and you know, his signature was a little different, but he's got it right there, right on top, and that's Harley #1. I should put this other comic first because it's Harley #0. The comic that came out and it has a bunch of different artists and so on in it, but Chad Hardin is part of the book. There's his name right there, and he signed it right by his name because he's just a cool guy like that. Now, before I show you the next comic, I wanted to go ahead and throw these up there. These are cool little metal, these are drawings, and let me get this out of the glare, on metal cards that Chad did, about baseball card size. Let me get this, oh, the glare has gotten real bad. And he signed these for me. They were not signed, but I did have him sign them. We have a pink Harley, and red and black Harley, focused a little bit for you. Again, he signed each and every one of these cards. My son is a huge Batman fan. Batman's his second favorite superhero after Spider-Man. So I found him a Harley with Batman card, and Chad signed it, of course. Chad was really nice. He just talked, and he just, you know, he would sign books, but he kept talking to people, and he would tell you about what's coming up and what he's been doing and what his thoughts were on different books and covers. And there's another Batman all by himself. Again, that's for my son. I mean, I like it too, but I bought it for my son. And then last but not least, there is this card here. This was a special, I guess he did, it's for the Hero Initiative. I guess this is for artists, you know, that need financial help. Chad was raising money with the sale of this one, and he also had a few other things, basically larger prints of this. But I really like that cover, or this this picture, so I picked that up as well. And of course, Chad signed it right down there in the corner. And I saved this for, here we go, my sketch cover from Chad Hardin, Harley Quinn #0, and Chad was doing commissions, and wow, he did a fantastic job on this. I couldn't have been happier when I got it. It took him a couple days. I actually got this to him Friday evening, probably about an hour before con ended on Friday, and he got it done. I picked it up sometime Sunday afternoon. He had a few commissions that he was doing, was just thrilled he was able to get this done for me. I love it. And of course he's got his autograph right there. Signed it right there. And I'll be back. I'm going to take a quick little break here and pop up here with my Stan Lee signatures. Alright, so I guess I could have called this more of my Stan Lee haul, because not quite everything on here was autographed by Stan Lee. However, a lot of these were things that I got because I had purchased 2 of the Stan Lee VIP passes for Denver Comic Con for a couple reasons. One, my son is just a huge fan, and I wanted to take no chances that my son wouldn't meet Stan Lee, because of course Stan was supposed to come 3 years ago to Denver Comic Con and canceled a week in advance. We had already purchased gold passes. My son was devastated. I mean, he was just a sad little kid. It broke my heart, because there's things that father can do and there's things that father can't do, and one of the things I couldn't do was make Stan Lee show up at Denver Comic Con 3 years ago. Anyway, so with the purchase of the VIP passes, we got this really great book. It's called Stan Lee's Love Story as told by his daughter J.C. Lee, and she actually did sign them. It was great, and we bought 2 passes. We actually got 2 copies of the book. I flipped through it. It's kind of told in comic book style, but you know, it talks about her mom, and you never really hear about her or anything, and it's really looking like it's going to be a great book. I'm going to enjoy reading it. And of course we got 2 copies because we had 2 VIP passes. And then with each VIP pass you got 2 variant comic books from Stan Lee's collection, and of course right there it says right here Stan Lee collection. And fortunately or unfortunately, you know, hard to say which, of course we bought 2 VIP passes, so I was hoping to get 4 different comics, but with each VIP pass what everybody got was Civil War #2 issue 0, and of course we got 2 copies, and issue #1, and these are connecting covers, so it's pretty cool. But again, this is from the Stan Lee collection, issue 1, Civil War #2, and we got 2 copies of this as well. Now, moving on to the signed books. My son, and I told him, you pick whatever comic you want Stan Lee to sign, or if you find something that he's gonna sign something of his at the con that you want him to sign, you let me know. My son went through his collection and he decided he wanted Amazing Spider-Man #365, the 30-year anniversary issue, that he wanted that signed. And he wanted it signed because A, the hologram, which Stan Lee, you know, wrote right on there, is actually, the hologram is actually the cover of Amazing Fantasy 15, first appearance of Spider-Man. And it's also the first appearance of Spider-Man 2099, which my son is a huge fan of Spider-Man 2099. So this is what he chose to get signed, and I told him whatever he wants. Now you notice Stan Lee, you know, his signature was looking a little rough. Yeah, we had VIP passes. Yeah, we saw him on Friday, the first day of the con, but he had already signed hundreds of autographs. They sold hundreds of the VIP passes for each day. I was a little disappointed to see that. $375 a piece. Yeah, a lot of money was spent. But you know, we did meet him. Stan Lee was a very nice man. We got to get up and we talked to him when he signed our items. We saw him again when we took photos with him later. But you could just tell that he was just, they were working him like a machine. But anyway, so Stan Lee's signature right there. Now, I did want to mention this. Stan Lee was charging $100 per autograph, and of course with each VIP pass you got a free autograph. But then right next to his table they were selling holographic stickers as to certify there was a Stan Lee autograph, and they wanted $20 more for that. Now I guess if you're selling books, if you're a dealer, maybe that's a good investment. I thought that was kind of crazy to add another $20 on top of $100. You know, but then again, these are my son's books. There's a few of mine as well. They're not going to leave this house. Well, they're not going to leave this family unless something dire happens. And if that's the case, you know, I'll probably be getting these certified by CBCS just for the heck of it and to get them slabbed. But I just thought, wow, that was a lot of money gouging to ask for another $20 so that they could stick a sticker on it and say, oh, now it's certified. Well, I know who signed it. I was right there when he did it. But I guess if you're just getting done to be selling them, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong, you know, maybe that additional assurance is worth the $20 investment. In any case, moving on. This is great. I've got a Batman book signed by Stan Lee. Oh, there's a story behind this. Obviously, this is Stan Lee's Batman. Just imagine Stan Lee does Batman, done by ZC Comics. They actually did the entire Justice League, where Stan Lee did Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, and some others, Robin. But I wanted to do Batman. I got Batman done, and here's the reason why. First off, again, my son's second favorite superhero, Batman. So Batman by Stan Lee is just like a big bonus. Secondly, for those of you who are big fans of The Big Bang Theory, there's an episode where Stan Lee shows up and the guys are going through and talking about what comic they want to get signed by Stan Lee. And Sheldon, of course one of our favorite characters, says, I'm going to get Batman signed by Stan Lee. And the guys turn to him and say, Stan Lee had nothing to do with Batman. And Sheldon says, well, that's why I'm getting it done. No one will have it. And of course my nerd mind went right to my Stan Lee collection of Justice League comics. I'm like, no, he did a Batman. So we got Stan Lee to sign Stan Lee's Batman, and his signature again, looking a little rough, but a little bit more recognizable. This third book was huge for me and my son. Spider-Man number 500, Amazing Spider-Man number 500, triple signed. Because if you look, Amazing Spider-Man, of course, created by Stan Lee. John Romita Jr., I believe, was a penciler. And the cover, unmistakable, well, that's J. Scott Campbell. So we got this triple signed here. You have Stan Lee's signature right there. J. Scott Campbell's over here. Let's see if I can get this out of the glare. Oh, there it is right there. Right there. And then John Romita Jr. off to the side. So our triple signed Amazing Spider-Man 500 book. This for certain is going to go to CBCS and get authenticated. Yeah, CGC was there. I just didn't feel like paying the CGC price for them to come along and witness it all, and it's just big pain. And if CGC were there, come up with an authentication service like CBCS does, that would be great, but they don't. So moving on. We also have my son wanted his Spider-Man action figure done in Amigo style, Spider-Man Origins Signature Series. So my son thought it'd be great to have Stan Lee sign it, and that's probably the best autograph of all the things that Stan signed for us. This might be the best one. Right there in the middle. It's obvious. Let me get this a little closer and out of the glare. There we go. But Stan Lee got that really well. Also with the VIP passes, we got a lithograph. We got the lithograph before we even met Stan Lee and said, oh, well, Stan's going to sign this for free. It's part of the package. So I was like, great. But when we got the lithograph, it was obvious that it was, again, a J. Scott Campbell artwork. It's a big one. There we go. So, uh, actually went and got in line, and when I had the rest of my books signed by J. Scott Campbell, I had him sign these. Again, there's 2 copies. And these, since they're part of the package, actually got the Stan Lee little hologram on it, and then Stan signed it right there. Again, I mean, I really appreciate meeting the guy. It's a great memory. He's a very nice man. He talked to us each time. My son talked to him, said goodbye by saying Excalibur, and Stan turned around and said rock on, or right on. I'm not really sure. He said one of the two, but he was very nice. But wow, like, just, he must have signed thousands of items this past weekend. And, again, we just appreciate the fact that we got to meet him. My son's been wanting to meet him for years. Of course, being a Spider-Man fan, he considered Stan Lee Spider-Man's dad, and that's how that went. So, last and certainly not least, I had Stan Lee sign my hot toy, from Hot Toys, Sideshow Collectibles, the Stan Lee figure. I was just, why wouldn't you have him sign this? I won't bother taking him out of the box for you. I'll do another video where I actually get him set up. I'm going to take the figure out of the box, set it up, have the box, and then put it all in one big display case. And I'll be happy to show you that. But if you see, Stan signed it right there. And it's just fantastic. Denver Comic Con, overall, great experience to go with the family. Got some great books, met some great people, met some great people, just that went to the con, standing in line and talking to people. If you're associated with Denver Comic Con at all, some advice. Let's see if we can't do a little something about the lines. I was standing in a line to go stand in another line to stand in a third line. It was crazy. For certain celebrities, you had to first buy a voucher, and then you had to take the voucher and exchange it for a card, and then you had to take that card and then stand in another line to actually see the celebrity. For Stan Lee, you actually had to take the voucher to exchange it for a card, stand in line to exchange the card for a badge, and then you went and stood in line to meet Stan Lee. Also for Denver Comic Con, if you're dealing with more than one company, obviously Epic Photo Ops was there to do the celebrity photographs. Stan Lee was there with his own people. However, anytime I asked anybody from Denver Comic Con what's going on with Epic Photo Ops or Stan Lee, or Epic Photo Ops with Stan Lee, their answer to me was, we don't know. That's Epic Photo Ops is handling this, or Stan Lee's people are handling this. And my answer was, well, it's your con. Shouldn't you know? I mean, at least just to give the information to the people that have spent hundreds and thousands of dollars to be here. But maybe that's nitpicking. That's me, because again, I've been to every Denver Comic Con, and they're obviously getting busier and more popular, but they're starting to lose sight of the little guy, their customers, that without them there would be no con. Doesn't matter who the celebrities are. If people aren't buying passes or willing to wait in line and pay prices, then there's no con. And so, other than that, Denver Comic Con was a fantastic time. Thrilled to have met Stan Lee, Carrie Elwes, John Delancey, David Mazouz, Cameron, all of them. So if you get a chance to go to Denver Comic Con next year, I highly suggest you do so. If you're a vendor and you're looking for a great place and you haven't tried out Denver Comic Con, give Denver Comic Con a shot. Apparently there were over 100,000 people there this weekend, and supposedly they're now the 4th or 5th largest Comic Con in the United States. I don't know how factual those are. Those are just numbers that were recited to me by one of the coordinators I ran into. And there you go. Anyway, YouTube, I'm going to call this the end of the video. Please feel free to leave comments. If you haven't subscribed to Golden Car Comics, please, I invite you to do so. I don't get videos up every day, but I try to get them up as often as I can. And you know, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Hey, if you absolutely have to, hit the thumbs down button and at least give me a reason why. I don't mind constructive criticism. I'm not into YouTube drama. But hey, I understand I can always get better. And I hope to continue to do so. Thank you for watching, everybody. And have a wonderful day or night. And enjoy your collections. Enjoy your comics. Be proud of what you do. They are part of who you are.